Hello and welcome. According to Fidelity's latest research, women who access advice report high levels of satisfaction with their advisor, and the experience they have when engaging in advice is overwhelmingly positive. But according to our new report, Unlocking the Power of Advice, the challenge seems to be encouraging women, and especially younger women, to seek advice in the first place. In fact, our findings show that twice as many men aged 18 to 34 would seek advice compared with women of the same age. So to discuss this, I'm delighted to be joined by Steve Butler, Chief Executive of Punter Southall Aspire. Steve, thanks ever so much for joining us. Firstly, why do you think we see this difference?
Hi, Kate. Thank you for inviting me. Personally, I think there are very few female role models in the industry encouraging women to take advice. It must look like a very male-dominated industry. We need a few more female Martin Lewises to tip the balance. Beyond that, I think the language we use is complicated and old-fashioned and probably exclusive, which probably puts women off from engaging with advice.
You kind of touched on it a bit there, Steve, but what do you think needs to change to encourage more women to access advice from a younger age?
Yeah, I have some perspective here, actually. I have a 23-year-old daughter, and obviously when she grew up, we discussed financial matters a lot. She now has a job working for a technology company in the city. She approached me just in the last week asking my opinion about an investing app. So I said to her, well, what are you actually looking for, or what are you interested in? And her primary interest was in responsible investing. She was then looking for a modern, simple technology. But the problem was I'd never heard of the app that she was showing me. So I think the issue is the trusted brand piece is missing. So I would urge the big trusted brands to do more in this space, perhaps partnering with financial planners. So a young woman perhaps could start her financial journey on an app and then progress to face-to-face advice as her career progresses, with the same investment strategy running through the whole process.
And do you think there's more we can do to familiarise women with the concept of financial advice from an earlier point in life?
Yeah, I don't think this is just about women. Studies show that children learn their savings habits by the time they're 7. So I think it's important that we catch everyone early on this subject. I'm a trustee of the Money charity, which provides teacher resources and training around financial management to school classes of all ages. And it's massively underfunded. So I think the government needs to do more to provide money to support this sector. I also think that financial management needs to be added to the national curriculum in Key Stage 1. It's not dealt with until later. And I guess finally, I think parents need to be much more open about money with their children. And the whole savings and paying conversation needs to be part of the playful conversation with young children.
There's still relatively few women in the advice profession. What steps, if any, do you think the industry can be taking to increase diversity and to encourage more women to consider financial advice as a career?
Yeah, the diversity issue is a big issue for the investment and savings industry. And it's not just about women. It's a white male-dominated industry. And that's what it looks like from outside of the industry. So I think the first thing we need to do is look at our own organisations and look at the inclusive culture that we're developing and make sure that it's appropriate. And then secondly, we need to reach out to schools and universities to encourage a broad range of people to join our industry. Personally, I've been doing guest lectures at non-Russell Group universities over recent years to spread the word.
Steve, you run a national retirement savings business serving over 1,200 corporate clients, and within those companies, around 250,000 employees. Based on your experience, what role do you think the workplace has to play in making advice more accessible for everyone, including women?
Yeah, I think the workplace is the most important place to engage on financial matters. Firstly, because most employees trust their employer, otherwise they wouldn't work for them. And secondly, employers are already providing a range of financial products like life assurance, medical insurance, and pensions. So firms such as mine are well placed to provide education, guidance, and advice, whether that's delivered online, in group workshops, video calls, or face-to-face. So I think employers need to make financial management a norm as part of their kind of well-being programs. And I think by making it a norm, it will be much more inclusive for everyone to be involved with.
Some of the respondents to our survey highlighted not knowing where to go or not being quite sure about what financial advice can offer them as reasons for not having sought advice. What do you think the advice industry can be doing more of in this area to encourage more women to engage?
Again, I think the workplace is the starting point. From a woman starting her career, having her workplace pension and engaging with that, and then progressing to simple investment savings products as their career builds, is the right place to start this process. So I think a really important part of this is the employee communications. So we have to work very carefully to make sure that we're using inclusive language, using the right images in a personal and engaging way to get people engaged in financial matters very on in their career. And I think from a female perspective, maybe even those workplace workshops that we run could be women only, so that we could remove some of their taboos or concerns about dealing in this area.
And Steve, finally, you touched on this a little bit earlier, but what role, in your view, can technology have in making advice more broadly accessible?
Yeah, I think technology, it's an important enabler, but it's not everything. The real issue is about choice. People need to engage in a way that's comfortable for them, because these are real personal matters. So that might be online, but equally it might be a video call or a face-to-face meeting. So I think as an industry, we need to appreciate that everyone's different and shape our services accordingly. Thanks,
Steve. It's been great to hear your views on this topic. If you'd like to find out more, you can see our full report and access a short summary of our key takeaways on our website. Thanks for watching.